Good afternoon everybody, and I hope you are well. Well, this isn't my tea, and you'd be probably wondering why it's all laid out on my kitchen table. But the truth is, we're getting closer and closer to winter time. There's lots of bad weather forecast, there's various events that are happening. And I'm not going to come on and start doing a big scaremongering video about what happens if the supermarkets run out of food, and what happens if events over the next few months don't go as anybody planned. And I'm not doing a video on that, okay? I'm not mentioning that word that's in the press and everybody's banging around about, because I'm a true believer is that people find a way to get through problems. And I said, if you look back on some of my earlier videos, I said, you know, there's no right or wrong answer to preparedness, prepping, whatever sort of name you want to give it. It's just options, choices, solutions. There's no right or wrong answer to this, okay? And that's why, for example, you know, the food that you can see on the table here is possibly the similar sort of things that you would actually have in your own houses, okay? I'll give you an example. We had some flooding, didn't we, over in Europe, and all of a sudden the local supermarket, which buys its iceberg lettuce from Spain, suddenly couldn't get it. You know, the crops were gone. So where did they get it from? America. What happened? Price went up. Now that's just an example. Personally, would you be bothered? Would you pay extra for the lettuce? Would you care? Would you buy something different? You know, I'm making a triviality about something, but you know, the truth is, if for example you couldn't get toilet paper, salt, oil, cat food, Tabasco sauce, you know, essentials, all that sort of thing, then, you know, what would you do? Would you keep a stock like I've done and like a lot of people are doing? Or would you just go without? Okay, I don't need to in this video come up with any massive scenarios. As I say, we're all aware of what's going on in the country at the moment. We're all aware of what's happening over the next few months. I'm not scaremongering. I'm not doing a video specifically about that event, and in fact, as I say, I'm not going to be even mentioning that word on my video, okay? There's too much of it going on, and I'm a true believer is that you can find a way round problems, options, solutions. That's what preparedness means to me, okay? Having something like this as a backup means that we can carry on in some sort of normal life, okay? Now, I'll give you an example. I'll just go off on here. You can get this sort of stuff, okay? And this is just an example, okay? I'm not being sponsored by, you know, this bunch and at all, but these Wayfarer style meals, you know, they've got the date on this is May 2019, okay? Now I've got these probably for around about, had it for around about the last 2 years, you know. They're relatively long life food. The next step up for something like this is dehydrated. And you find in supermarkets now you can get the equivalent. These little snack pots are similar to the sort of the great big cartons of another particular brand of long life food that is used for survival. But the truth is, I wouldn't really want to feed my family on that in the shorter term. And as much as these are quite nice and they pack in 300 calories each one, have to 600 calories, well, you know, that's a meal, give or take, isn't it, with some extra stuff. But I wouldn't want to be feeding my family on that. As you see on my videos, I've got a young lad, and there has to be a sense of normality. All you mums and dads know that, okay? You know, you don't want to suddenly start creating unnecessary drama. So it's business as usual as far as I'm concerned. So this is not the complete collection, okay? That might worry people. For the people who think this is ridiculous, there's loads of stuff on here. How can you possibly need more? Yes, there is more, okay? For the people who think there isn't enough here, there is more. And there's no sort of, you know, right or wrong in terms of the quantities either. You know, I have a pot of basil, I have 2 packs of spaghetti. The reality is, if we look at a few quantities, I think at the last count I've probably got around about 10, 15, 20 kilos worth of pasta and rice in sort of a various combination. We've got bottled water, we've got cleaning things. So I'm just going to spin round and just give you an overview, okay, of just the sort of things I have, okay? So this is a selection of food that we have. The key is 3 months, and the truth is there is more. This is sort of staples which we keep, because at the end of the day this is stuff that needs to go with quite a lot of the food that we have. I'm big into fresh food, fresh chicken, meats, fruit, veg. You see me grow my own stuff on the garden. I like to use the local farm shops. There is a time though where you have to supplement and compromise, and I want to sort of move it to this level from that level, rather than instantly go on to dehydrated food, because as good as they are, and this isn't against anybody who uses that as their method of survival, we've got a 5-year-old. I don't want to be giving him dehydrated food. Yes, we do have it, but that is an absolute last ditch. Okay, we want it to be as normal as possible, in the event of an emergency or a scenario. So, with things that we all know and love, things like the saurine there, nice multi loaf, everybody likes a little bit of that in the house, and this is the key. When you're buying and you're stocking up, don't buy what everyone else is buying, buy stuff that you like, okay, and just make sure that you've got more of what you think you'll use more, if that makes sense. Hot drinks, instant hot chocolate, multi-drinks, added with, that's instant anyway, but you can add a bit of milk to it, or powdered milk. Everybody likes a hot drink, and I think it makes a bad place good, okay? So 36 litres of this is kept in stock, and we get through around about 8 a week, so there's probably around about enough in there to keep us going. And similarly to the fresh meat that we keep in the freezer, we also keep breads in the freezer as well. But if that runs out, we've got flour, we've got yeast, we've got oil, we can make our own. Things like bannock loaves, things like flatbreads. We do have a bread maker, but in truth you don't need it. Okay, you can do it by hand. It's quick and easy. Canned goods, well, inevitably, because they keep well, they stack well, and they're relatively cheap. That is the sort of the staple of backup food. Beans and sausages, curries and that sort of thing, and soups. They're quick, they're easy. But again, a vegetable soup with some meat added and some potatoes added, and instantly you've got a stew. With chopped tomatoes, with some meat, add the pasta, put some seasoning in, and you've got something that resembles a normal meal. There's sort of extras in here as well, little snacky things. Sometimes we don't have a full meal, so there is a cup of soups and that sort of thing. They're really nice as well. Little sort of curries, again, they haven't got any added things in, so they don't last as long, but quite good. Energy, peanut butter, just on that with a sandwich can fill a gap, and that's keeping people's keeping people's tummies full, so they're happy. All right. What goes in must come out. We're all grown up, so of course toilet paper is a need, hand wash is a need. Sanitary in an emergency sometimes is a big problem, okay, and there's loads of examples of that, okay. Things like to maintain a clean household, toilet cleaner, antibacterial, washing liquid, that sort of stuff. Laundry liquid, and this is another one, okay. If there's a power cut, guess what, you ain't using the washing machine. Get some hand washing liquid, or some liquid that you can use for hand washing as well. Powder ain't going to be no good sometimes, so you want to keep everything clean. Obviously got sponges there at the back. Seasoning, Tabasco sauce, Worcester sauce, just to try and make sort of very plain carby food a little bit nicer. We have a cat. Don't worry, we're not eating the cat, but we have to feed her. So we've got backup food for the cat as well. So she gets through around about 3 or 4 pouches a day. So that stacks 12. So we've got half a dozen of those, and biscuits as well. Mentioned about the pastas, this sort of stuff's really cheap. I think it's around about 25-30 pence, a packet. Might have been cheaper than that. And again, we've got some more pasta there, noodles, rice, forms a basis for foods. Everybody likes coffee in the house, so we have some coffee. We've got tea bags as well. Don't ask, I just love sage and onion stuffing. If you're having a Sunday dinner, why not have some stuffing? Why not at the end of the day? Alright, it's about personal choices. More seasoning up there, kitchen roll, bin bags, got black bags as well. Have the curries, this British chicken, we've got hot ones and mild ones, we've got some chickpeas there. There's not a lot of nutrients in this as it stands here, and in an emergency, yes, there is multivitamins, but the truth is, again, this goes back to making a a balanced diet with what you have, and you try and mix in the fresh foods, and if it comes down to it, you've still got your protein from things like your steak there and your sardines and your tuna. Alright, cold weather means the Jakemans are there. In fact, that's the only sweet I really have, but we've got some of those. They're really nice. You've been watching it, haven't you? You wondered when I was going to mention about that chocolate sponge pudding with chocolate sauce. They are really, really nice, okay? But again, that's not going to be something I'm going to be indulging in. You have to test these things, okay? I tested everything on it to make sure that it will be suitable, okay? And that is suitable. Seasoning, as I said there. Things to cook it in, well, obviously we've got some olive oil there, we've got some vegetable oil. Olive oil, along with things like the tomatoes and some of the other things as well, they come from Europe, okay? So I've got quite a lot of that, alright? I've got quite a lot of olive oil. There's another thing that's sneaking around the back here. We have some water, and that's just 15 pence a bottle still water. Again, we had a letter come through the other day saying that the local water company is going to be doing work on the water mains, and the water might be a bit discoloured, so don't use it at night, and so on and so forth, and all the rest of it. So we've got some drinking water there. We're not going to go to purified water just yet, but you've seen in my kit I have water purification in case. Tucked away at the back there, well, whiskey. That's just some cheap stuff, okay? It is cheap, but it is drinkable. I'm not advocating people go out and get themselves a load of whiskey to help them get through bad times, alright? That's a slippery slope, okay? And some people who maybe, can't or don't want to drink, again, this is your choice, isn't it? So don't worry, that's not just going to be sloshed down, but I think it's a nice little morale boost there as well, in the right quantities. So just to get that one over and done with and put that one to bed. And that really is it. That's the examples of what I have for 3 months, and it just comes back to it. It is staples which go with other foods, and yes, there is more, and but the idea is, rather than just running out and buying, say, 20 of these olive oils, this nice extra virgin olive oil. They're all going to have the same best before date on. Why buy them all together? Why not spread it out and buy, maybe one every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then you've got a rotational supply, and that's about it. Because you don't want to, otherwise you take from the front all the time and keep putting more stuff in front of it. Eventually you're going to end up with the back row of whatever you've got has gone out of date. Anyway, that's stating the obvious. So there we have it. That is the food preps. So there we have it. That is the end of the video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember, there's no right or wrongs to this sort of thing. At the end of the day, it is options and choices and for solutions to problems, not really one size fits all. So if you're going to buy this sort of stuff, make sure that you're buying the stuff that you like, the stuff that you use, and the stuff that you're able to store, because at the end of the day, it's your money, alright? So until next time, any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them, and I'll do my best to reply to you. And thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.